There are moments in life when you feel the weight of the world pressing against your chest, when every word, every glance, every provocation from others feels like a deliberate attempt to drag you away from your center. You start your day filled with clarity, hope, and intention, ready to manifest everything you've been working toward. And then, one comment, one look, one disruption pulls you back into old emotions you swore you had already healed. Suddenly, your focus collapses. Your energy shifts from creation to defense. This invisible shift, subtle yet powerful, is the very reason your manifestation stops flowing. The truth is that manifestation is not merely about positive thoughts or visualizations. It's about the stability of your inner frequency when the external world tests your peace. The universe constantly mirrors what's active within you, and when you're easily provoked, it's showing where your attention still leaks. Every time you allow another person's chaos to dictate your energy, you unconsciously hand over the creative force that should be fueling your desires. The provocations of others are not interruptions to your path. They are the very gateways through which your discipline, your clarity, and your mastery are tested and refined. In this journey, the true art of manifestation lies in learning how to protect your mental and emotional field without closing your heart. It's about understanding that focus is not just a mental exercise, it's an energetic commitment. You don't lose manifestation because life challenges you. You lose it because you forget who you are amid the noise. This video will guide you through the process of understanding why your manifestations freeze when you're triggered, and how to remain in unwavering alignment until your vision becomes reality. We will explore the emotional roots of distraction, the energetic mechanics behind focus, and the practical steps you can use to anchor your vibrations so deeply that no external storm can move you. As you listen, breathe slowly. Allow each word to land, not just in your mind, but in your heart. Because from this point forward, every challenge you face will no longer be a reason to give up. It will become proof that you are learning to create from power, not reaction. It often begins quietly, an unexpected comment, a tone of voice that pierces deeper than it should, a reminder of an old wound you thought you had already healed. In that split second, something in your body reacts before your mind can intervene. Your heart rate increases, your chest tightens, and your thoughts scatter like fragments of light trying to find their way back to form. You were aligned just moments ago, your energy calm and focused on what you desired to manifest. But now, without warning, your inner current feels disrupted, your vibration unsteady, your mind clouded by the weight of emotion. What just happened is not random. It is a precise reflection of the energetic mechanics behind manifestation. Manifestation thrives on coherence, the harmony between thought, emotion, and intention. When someone provokes you, that coherence fractures. Your nervous system shifts from creation to defense. Instead of transmitting a clear frequency to the universe, you begin to emit confusion, resistance, and survival signals. The very energy that once moved toward your vision becomes redirected towards self-protection. This is why your manifestations often seem to freeze in moments of conflict or emotional chaos. The universe does not stop responding to you. It simply mirrors the shift in your internal vibration. What you feel becomes what you attract, and provocation becomes a magnet for more of the same. The deeper truth is that provocation is rarely about the other person. It's a mirror reflecting an internal fracture, an old belief that says, "I must defend my worth to be safe." Every trigger is an echo of something unresolved, an emotion that has not yet been fully integrated. Most people believe their manifestation is blocked because of external circumstances, but in reality, it is the lack of emotional neutrality that keeps them trapped in cycles of resistance. When you react, you lose access to your higher intelligence. Your body's chemistry floods with cortisol and adrenaline, and your subconscious mind interprets this state as danger. It cannot distinguish between a verbal disagreement and a life-threatening event. Therefore, it pauses creative processes to preserve energy for survival. The good news is that this pattern can be transformed. The first step is awareness, recognizing that the trigger is not a punishment, but an invitation to mastery. Each time you are provoked, life presents you with a sacred opportunity to reprogram your energy field. Instead of seeing conflict as interference, begin to see it as initiation. In that charged moment, you are being asked to choose between reaction and remembrance, to remember your essence beyond emotion. This is where the power of pause becomes your greatest ally. The pause between stimulus and response is not emptiness. It is creation's workshop. It is the space where you reclaim authorship of your energy. Breathing deeply into the body during these moments begins to re-establish coherence. The act of breath is not simply physiological, it is spiritual. Inhaling slowly and exhaling longer signals to your nervous system that you are safe. Safety restores focus. Focus reopens the channels of manifestation. When the body relaxes, the heart's electromagnetic field expands and your energy becomes steady again. The universe listens to steady energy, not chaotic emotion. When you train yourself to remain calm under provocation, you become the conductor of your own frequency. You no longer broadcast fear or anger. You broadcast stability and certainty, and stability is magnetic. There's also an important emotional layer that must be honored. You cannot simply suppress your feelings and call it spiritual discipline. True focus comes not from denial but from integration. When you feel provoked, acknowledge the emotion honestly. Name it without judgment: anger, disappointment, humiliation, fear, and let it move through you like a passing current. Energy that is felt fully loses its charge. The moment you resist feeling, it amplifies. The moment you accept it, it dissolves. Emotional intelligence is therefore the secret foundation of unshakable manifestation. You cannot hold the vibration of abundance while clinging to the vibration of resentment. The mind may argue that staying silent or centered means weakness, but in truth, it is the highest form of power. Reaction is predictable. Presence is revolutionary. Those who master presence become untouchable, not because life stops testing them, but because they no longer internalize the test. The provocations that once caused days of turmoil become mere ripples on the surface of a calm ocean. The ocean doesn't fight the wind, it moves with it, absorbs it, and returns to stillness. That stillness is creation itself. When you cultivate this kind of inner stability, manifestation becomes inevitable, because your energy remains consistent regardless of circumstance. It is also essential to understand that provocation exposes the boundaries you have yet to define. When your focus is easily stolen, it means you are still outsourcing your sense of worth to the external world. The path of manifestation demands that you reclaim sovereignty over your emotional state. No person, event, or opinion should have the authority to dictate how you feel. Boundaries are not walls. They are sacred parameters that protect your vibration. To maintain focus is not to isolate yourself, but to anchor yourself so deeply in your truth that external noise cannot shake your foundation. As you deepen this awareness, you'll begin to notice a subtle transformation. Situations that once triggered you now appear as opportunities to practice mastery. You respond slower, you breathe deeper, and you recover faster. This is energetic maturity. It doesn't mean life becomes perfect. It means you become imperturbable, and it is within that steady frequency that your manifestations begin to unfold naturally, effortlessly. The universe always aligns with energy that is certain, not desperate, not reactive, certain. Remember this. Provocation is the universe asking, are you truly ready to hold what you've been asking for? Because the energy of your desires often demands a higher level of emotional discipline. The more powerful your vision, the more the universe will test your steadiness. When you learn to stay calm, you prove that you are ready to handle the magnitude of your manifestation. You demonstrate mastery, not just intention. In the end, the moment you stop allowing external forces to define your internal state, you step into your highest creative potential. Your manifestation no longer wavers with mood or circumstance. It becomes an extension of your constancy. Every trigger becomes a teacher, every challenge a calibration, every pause a point of power. You stop chasing manifestation, and manifestation begins chasing you, because nothing and no one can provoke you out of alignment with who you truly are. There is a quiet kind of strength that is born not from fighting the storm, but from learning to stand still inside it. When life challenges you, when voices rise or circumstances feel unfair, the mind's first impulse is to defend, to correct, to prove something. Yet each attempt to control the external world drains the energy needed to sustain your vision. The essence of focus is not in effort, but in constancy. It is not the absence of distraction. It is the art of remaining unchanged within it. When you understand this, provocation becomes irrelevant, and your manifestation begins to flow again. At the core of manifestation lies one immutable truth. Energy follows attention. Whatever you dwell upon expands. If your attention becomes entangled in proving your worth, replaying arguments, or reliving injustice, then the energy of creation becomes entangled there too. The universe does not discriminate between what you want and what you resist. It responds simply to what is active in your vibration. When your attention circles around conflict, that conflict becomes the engine of your manifestation. But when your attention returns to purpose, to gratitude, to inner stability, your energy reorganizes around clarity and begins to magnetize everything that matches it. Focus is not about ignoring reality. It is about deciding which reality you are loyal to. In the space between reaction and creation lies the doorway to mastery. Every time someone provokes you, the universe asks, are you willing to remain devoted to your vision even when the noise around you grows louder? The moment you say yes, not in words, but in energetic stillness, you move from human reaction to divine authorship. The provocations of others are not random. They are rehearsals preparing you to hold the frequency of what you've asked for. The bigger the dream, the greater the level of focus required to sustain it. Maintaining focus does not mean suppressing your emotions. It means learning to regulate them with consciousness. Emotion is energy in motion. When you allow it to pass through you instead of identifying with it, that energy becomes fuel. For example, anger, when acknowledged and redirected, becomes passion. Fear, when illuminated, becomes clarity. Sadness, when felt without resistance, becomes compassion. Emotional mastery is not numbness. It is transformation. It is how you turn pain into presence, reaction into awareness, and chaos into coherence. The physical body is the vessel through which focus is maintained. Every emotion creates a corresponding physical sensation. You can feel it as tension in your shoulders, tightness in your chest, or heat rising through your body. Instead of judging these sensations, observe them with patience. Place a hand over your heart, breathe slowly, and remind yourself that you are safe. Safety calms the nervous system, and a calm nervous system allows energy to flow freely again. When the body relaxes, the mind quiets. And in that quiet, intuition becomes audible. This is where you begin to feel guided rather than driven. One of the greatest illusions of manifestation is the belief that focus means constant action. True focus often looks like stillness. It is in moments of pause that energy recalibrates. Imagine the universe as a great ocean and your intention as a ripple upon its surface. If you keep stirring the water with impatience, the ripple cannot form. But if you stand still, the ripple expands effortlessly. The discipline of focus is therefore a practice of surrender, not of control. You surrender to the natural rhythm of creation, trusting that the universe is orchestrating details beyond your perception. When provoked, the ego rushes to defend its identity because it fears dissolution. But the soul knows that no attack can diminish what is infinite. The practice of maintaining focus is not about winning arguments or proving strength. It is about remembering truth. Each time you choose peace over reaction, you dissolve a fragment of the false self. Over time, these small acts of inner defiance accumulate, and you begin to experience a profound shift. What once triggered you now feels distant, irrelevant. The same words that once pierced you now pass through like wind through open hands. This is what it means to become energetically sovereign. Sovereignty does not isolate you from the world. It liberates you within it. When your focus is unshakable, you participate in life without being consumed by it. You speak with compassion rather than defense. You listen without absorbing another's pain. You create not from urgency, but from purpose. Your calm becomes contagious, your presence magnetic. Others sense your stability and feel safer in your company because your energy communicates something the mind cannot explain: coherence. Coherence is the harmony between thought, feeling, and action. It is the alignment that allows manifestation to flow seamlessly. To cultivate coherence, remind yourself daily of your why, not the superficial reason, but the sacred one. Why do you truly want what you desire? Beneath every goal lies an emotional essence, a longing to feel free, safe, seen, or fulfilled. When you connect to that essence, focus becomes natural. You no longer chase outcomes, you embody them. The universe recognizes embodiment far more than words. Holding focus in the midst of chaos is the highest form of manifestation mastery. It is what transforms a dream into inevitability. Distraction loses its power when you understand that every external disturbance is a mirror, not a barrier. The world mirrors your internal climate. Change the climate, and the reflection changes. When provoked, return to the center of your being, the quiet space where no words reach, where stillness becomes strength. That is where creation begins anew each time. Every provocation that enters your life is not there to break your focus, but to help you refine it. Each moment of disturbance offers a chance to reaffirm your devotion to your intention. Every time you remain steady, when the world expects your reaction, your energy expands, your manifestation strengthens, and your frequency becomes undeniable. In this way, focus becomes more than a mental discipline. It becomes a sacred art. And when you master it, nothing outside of you can determine the timeline or the quality of what you create. The universe begins to move in rhythm with your stillness, aligning circumstance after circumstance until what once felt distant becomes your living reality. There comes a moment in every spiritual journey when you realize that true mastery is not about controlling what happens around you, but about directing how you respond within. The ability to stay calm when provoked, to remain grounded when misunderstood, and to keep faith when outcomes delay, defines not only your emotional maturity, but the strength of your manifestation. Emotional discipline is not cold detachment. It is a sacred stillness that allows you to feel everything without being consumed by anything. It's the point where reaction ends and creation begins. Most people misunderstand emotional discipline as suppression. They believe that staying calm means pretending not to feel anger, sadness, or fear. Yet, suppression is the opposite of control. It is emotional avoidance disguised as strength. True discipline invites awareness. It means noticing what arises within you when life shakes your balance. It's the gentle act of saying, I see this emotion, I understand why it's here, but I will not let it drive my decisions. Every time you respond from that place of awareness, you dissolve another layer of reactivity, and your energy becomes clearer, sharper, more magnetic. When the universe senses consistency in your vibration, it mirrors that consistency back through opportunities, synchronicities, and manifestations that align with your peace. The opposite is also true. Inconsistency in emotional energy produces inconsistent results. Every provocation, therefore, is a spiritual test designed to strengthen your frequency. It asks, can you stay faithful to your desire even when discomfort arises? This is why emotional discipline is not punishment, it is preparation. The dreams you hold require you to become the person capable of sustaining them. Without discipline, manifestation would collapse under the weight of your reactions. Emotional discipline begins in the body. The body is the first to register provocation. It tightens, contracts, prepares to defend. When you feel this contraction, it's not a sign of weakness, it's an invitation to pause. In that pause, you meet yourself. You take one conscious breath, not to escape the feeling, but to observe it. Each slow inhale reclaims your energy from the external world and brings it back into your center. The exhale releases what doesn't belong. In this rhythm, awareness grows. The more you practice this, the more quickly your nervous system learns that peace is your natural baseline. Over time, what used to trigger chaos will barely move your energy. There is profound strength in calmness. Calmness does not mean apathy. It means mastery over the waves that rise within. Imagine standing before an ocean. Each wave represents an emotion, some gentle, some overwhelming. You cannot stop the waves, but you can learn to stand firmly on the shore. You watch them come and go without losing your footing. Emotional discipline is that inner shore. It is not a denial of emotion, but an unshakable commitment to presence. You honor the emotion without handing it the steering wheel of your life. Another aspect of emotional discipline is the ability to detach from the need to be understood. The desire to justify yourself, to prove your goodness, or to correct others drains immense creative energy. It shifts your focus from purpose to validation. You were not created to convince others of your truth. You were created to live it. The moment you stop defending yourself is the moment your vibration expands. Silence in this sense is not weakness. It is wisdom. It says, my peace is more valuable than my pride. The more you honor that peace, the more the universe honors your intentions. Discipline also means consistency. Every time you return to calm after being provoked, you reinforce the neural pathways of focus and stability. Science calls this neuroplasticity. Spirituality calls it reprogramming energy. Both point to the same truth. Repetition rewires reality. The person who can feel deeply yet remain balanced becomes unstoppable because they no longer waste energy on resistance. They channel every ounce of emotion back into creation. Anger becomes determination. Sadness becomes depth. Fear becomes alertness. This alchemy is the secret language of manifestation. There will be moments when your discipline wavers, and that's part of the process. You are not meant to transcend emotion entirely. You are meant to transcend its control over you. When you falter, observe with compassion, not judgment. Awareness itself is transformation. Every time you become aware of your reaction, you interrupt the old pattern, and in that interruption a new self is born. Over time, this awareness becomes automatic. You begin to feel your emotions rising, but instead of being swept away, you breathe and anchor yourself. You remember that the goal is not to win an argument or silence criticism. It is to protect your energy so that your manifestation remains intact. Emotional discipline also expands your compassion for others. When you master your own inner world, you see that everyone else is also fighting unseen battles. The provocations that once angered you now evoke empathy. You recognize the pain beneath another's aggression, the insecurity beneath their need to control. This understanding does not excuse behavior, but it frees you from taking it personally. Compassion replaces resentment, and in that compassionate frequency, your heart opens. The more open your heart, the greater your magnetic field of attraction becomes. The universe flows easily toward an open heart because openness is trust, and trust is alignment. The silent power of emotional discipline is this. It allows you to remain faithful to your frequency regardless of external conditions. Your energy no longer mirrors chaos, it transmits harmony. You become a stabilizing force in every environment, and that steadiness draws abundance effortlessly. The world will still provoke you at times, but your response will no longer be dictated by the past. Instead, you will act from clarity, groundedness, and love. That is the moment manifestation becomes natural, when you no longer chase peace, but embody it. Emotional discipline is not a distant ideal. It is a daily practice of remembering who you are. It's the gentle whisper that says, I am not this reaction. I am the awareness behind it. When you live from that awareness, manifestation ceases to be a struggle and becomes an extension of your inner state. The more disciplined your emotions, the freer your energy, and the freer your energy, the faster your desires unfold. In the end, the true power of manifestation is not in controlling the world, but in mastering the universe within yourself. And that mastery begins with a single conscious breath that says, I choose peace. There is an invisible rhythm that governs everything in existence, a universal pulse that connects every heartbeat, every thought, and every event unfolding in your reality. When you are in alignment, your energy vibrates in harmony with this rhythm, and manifestation becomes effortless. But the moment you allow external chaos to dictate your internal state, you fall out of sync with that universal current. Alignment is not a destination you reach, it is a frequency you maintain. It requires presence, awareness, and a deep commitment to your truth, even when the world around you is trying to pull you away from it. To understand alignment, you must first understand resonance. Everything in the universe communicates through vibration. Every emotion, every thought, every word you speak emits a signal that travels beyond your physical body. The law of attraction is not merely a concept of wishful thinking, it is physics at a spiritual level. Like frequencies attract like frequencies. When your vibration matches the frequency of what you desire, the universe has no choice but to respond. However, when your energy oscillates between faith and fear, between certainty and doubt, you send mixed signals into the field, creating fragmented results. The universe is always listening, but it responds most powerfully to clarity. Maintaining alignment does not mean avoiding challenges. It means remembering your essence through them. The storms of life do not exist to destroy your focus. They exist to reveal the parts of you that still forget who you are. Each moment of provocation is an opportunity to anchor deeper into your alignment. Imagine alignment as a sacred melody that only plays when you are still enough to hear it. When you react to the noise around you, that melody becomes faint, drowned out by the static of confusion and doubt. But when you return to your breath, to your awareness, the melody resurfaces. It has always been there. You simply stopped listening. The frequency of unshakable alignment is cultivated through trust. Trust in the unseen, trust in divine timing, and trust in yourself. You may not always see immediate evidence of your manifestation, but that does not mean it isn't unfolding. The universe often works behind the veil, rearranging circumstances, people, and opportunities in your favor. Doubt slows this process, but faith accelerates it. To remain aligned, you must detach from the when and the how. Detachment is not indifference. It is knowing that the energy you have already released into the universe is enough. You no longer need to chase it. You simply align with it. One of the greatest enemies of alignment is emotional turbulence. Each time you dwell in resentment, jealousy, or fear, your vibration lowers. But these emotions are not enemies. They are indicators, like signals on your inner compass pointing to where attention and healing are needed. When you observe them without judgment, they lose their density. You become the witness instead of the reactor. That shift from reaction to observation instantly recalibrates your frequency. It tells the universe that you are no longer controlled by emotion, but guided by awareness. Awareness is pure energy. It vibrates higher than any fear, and it is this vibration that magnetizes miracles. Another essential aspect of alignment is coherence between thought, feeling, and action. You cannot think abundance while feeling unworthy, or speak positivity while acting from fear. The universe reads vibration, not language. Every thought that carries emotion becomes a transmission. Every action either reinforces alignment or weakens it. When all three, thought, emotion, and action, operate in harmony, your energy becomes coherent. Coherence is power. It is the state in which manifestation accelerates beyond logic. In coherence, you no longer push against reality. You move with it. Everything begins to flow toward you with a sense of inevitability, not struggle. Stillness is the secret doorway to alignment. In silence, you meet your higher self. When the mind quiets, the heart takes the lead, and the heart is the most powerful transmitter of energy in your body. Its electromagnetic field is thousands of times stronger than that of the brain. When you live from the heart, your energy field expands, and this expansion draws your desires toward you naturally. Gratitude amplifies this process. Every time you express genuine gratitude, you send a signal to the universe that says, "I am already aligned with abundance." The universe responds by delivering more experiences that match that frequency. Gratitude is not a reaction to receiving. It is the magnet that brings the receiving forth. There will be days when alignment feels difficult to sustain. On those days, gentleness becomes your greatest ally. Alignment is not about perfection. It is about return. Every time you drift into fear and then find your way back to peace, you strengthen your energetic core. Think of alignment as a muscle. The more you practice returning to it, the stronger it becomes. Over time, the gap between reaction and recovery shrinks until peace becomes your natural state. You no longer need to remind yourself to realign. You simply are. Unshakable alignment means that you no longer depend on external validation for internal stability. You no longer require proof that the universe is working for you because you feel it within your being. You recognize synchronicities not as coincidences, but as confirmations. You move through the world with quiet confidence, knowing that every delay carries purpose, every redirection carries grace. You stop trying to control outcomes and instead align with possibilities. That shift from control to alignment is where miracles live. When you vibrate in alignment long enough, manifestation transforms into something deeper than desire. It becomes expression. You no longer ask for things to complete you. You express from the completeness you already feel. The universe mirrors that wholeness with experiences that match it. In this way, alignment becomes not just a practice, but a way of being. It is the still river beneath every wave, the calm beneath every storm, the certainty beneath every unknown. And once you discover that frequency within yourself, nothing outside of you has the power to disrupt it again. At the end of this journey, you now understand that manifestation is not only the act of creating what you desire, but the art of maintaining who you are in the process. The world will always attempt to pull you away from your center. to test your patience, your focus, your emotional discipline, and your trust in the unseen. Yet within every moment of chaos lies an invitation to return to alignment, to silence the noise, and to remember that you are the creator, not the reactor. The true power of manifestation unfolds when your inner state remains calm, regardless of what happens outside you. You have learned that the universe responds not to your words, but to your vibration. It listens to the energy behind your thoughts, your emotions, and your actions. When you hold peace amid provocation, you are sending a signal of mastery, a declaration that you have risen beyond the old patterns that once kept you trapped in resistance. Your emotions are not your enemies. They are messengers guiding you toward deeper awareness. And your focus is not fragile. It is the bridge between your intention and the material world. To manifest is to embody the truth that everything you desire already exists within your energetic field. Your only task is to stay aligned long enough for the invisible to become visible. The storms will come, but they are not meant to break you. They are meant to sculpt you into someone who can hold the magnitude of what you've asked for. You become unstoppable, not by avoiding challenge, but by mastering your response to it. Each time you remain centered when the world demands reaction, your power multiplies. The universe is always listening, always responding, always reflecting. The more you remain grounded in peace, gratitude, and clarity, the more effortlessly reality bends in your favor. You do not need to chase your manifestation. When your vibration is steady, everything that belongs to you will find its way home. Now that you've reached this moment, ask yourself, are you truly ready to become the version of yourself who cannot be shaken by anything or anyone? If the answer is yes, then your journey toward mastery has already begun. Stay devoted to your peace, honor your alignment, and remember, the universe mirrors the energy you choose to embody. If this message resonated with your soul, make sure to subscribe to the channel so you never miss a new teaching like this. Continue your transformation by watching the next video appearing now on your screen. It's time to go deeper, to expand higher, and to live as the conscious creator you were always meant to be.